At 25 years old, Sebastian's world revolves around his shallow, fast life and indulgences. His life is a blend of parties, wealth, and fleeting encounters. Challenges, whether pursuing his musical aspirations or seeking genuine love, seem foreign to him. Sebastian's nightly routine unfolds predictably. He indulges in a leisurely shower, meticulously selecting his grooming products. The process extends to his wardrobe, where he carefully chooses suits from his extensive collection and matches them with various watches. As winter blankets the city in snow, Sebastian and his friends navigate the streets. Passing a group of captivating women, smirks are exchanged among the boys. They join the queue for a popular club, their aura suggesting a certain fame. Amid the camaraderie, one friend admonishes Sebastian, urging him to apply himself more. Outside the club, two girls, Mia and her friend, find themselves excluded from the guest list. Mia thinks of something smart as they strike up a conversation with an attractive girl behind them, who catches the bouncer's eye. Leveraging this connection, they secure entry. Sebastian's story unfolds against the backdrop of glamour and nightlife. Sebastian's attention is fixed on a group of attractive girls, energetically dancing on the floor. However, one of them becomes the unwitting star of an embarrassing moment, prompting Sebastian and his friends to distance themselves. Amidst the revelry, one of Sebastian's friends exhibits rudeness towards the waitress. Unwilling to tolerate such behavior, Sebastian rebukes his friend, emphasizing the importance of respect. Later, in the bathroom, a woman enters unexpectedly, complimenting Sebastian's singing. In response, Sebastian comments on her appearance. As morning arrives, Sebastian finds himself in a situation with the woman from the previous night. He messages his friend Eric for help. Sebastian implores Eric to concoct an excuse and bring breakfast, suggesting that Sebastian's grandmother has passed away to facilitate a swift exit. In the morning, as Eric brings breakfast, the woman, sensing the somber atmosphere, dresses hastily while Sebastian feigns tears. In a moment of pity, she departs, and as the door closes, Sebastian abandons his act. Next, Sebastian is found at Eric's clothing shop browsing for clothes. It becomes evident that Sebastian aspires to be a singing idol, consistently sending demos of his singing, albeit without success. Eric mentions an opportunity involving a client card after Sebastian finishes shopping. Following this, Sebastian heads to the hair salon for a grooming session. Later, Sebastian's mother Annelle arrives, and they seem really close. She shares her visit to the cemetery, mentioning someone who should have turned 27. That is Sebastian's brother, Theo, who passed away a long time ago. Sebastian's mother expresses concern about his spending habits on clothes, but Sebastian eagerly shares news about potentially signing with a label, despite uncertainties. Sebastian faces friction with his father, who doesn't consider Sebastian's job as a store clerk a real profession. Sebastian denies his role, reflecting an underlying tension in their relationship. After his mother imparts some motherly wisdom, Sebastian practices singing in the store. Eric acknowledges Sebastian's talent, but advises him to put in the work, leading to Sebastian tossing a tape in response. Eric discusses his aspirations for promotions that could elevate him to head office, allowing him to attend European shows. Sebastian, though proud of Eric's career progression, expresses his aversion to working as a store assistant. Eric points out Sebastian's habit of doom scrolling and not taking action. Sebastian receives a call, choosing to ditch Eric in the process. The call is from a record studio, and Eric is understandably upset, feeling Sebastian is abandoning his work. Sebastian searches for Johansson, who has been looking for him. After their conversation, they part ways, and Sebastian exits. The results seem to be off to a great start, as Sebastian, in the bathroom, appears extremely happy and on the verge of screaming in joy. His friends call him again, waiting for him by the club. Despite the freezing weather, Sebastian heads their way, but slips when Pell talks. He gets up undamaged and announces that he's been signed, although he needs a lawyer to verify it. However, while getting a taxi, he accidentally bumps his head on a lowered street pole sign. He collapses, feeling a bit dizzy, and notices something off with his vision. Despite shouting for help, no one responds. It turns out he has become blind. Sebastian goes to the hospital with his parents, where the doctor performs various tests, but finds no improvement in his vision. Sebastian's head hurts, and his mom is in tears. Exhausted and frustrated, Sebastian throws a fit. The doctor diagnoses Sebastian with an aneurysm, noting damage to his visual cortex. When Sebastian's father inquires about his eyesight, the doctor grimly suggests that restoring it might be next to impossible. However, the doctor assures them that continuous treatment will be administered to monitor any improvements. Sebastian's behavior becomes irritable, often rebuffing his mom's attempts at comfort. Despite the grim prognosis, his parents refuse to accept his situation and vow to do everything to restore his vision. His father starts making calls to seek help. Days later, Eric comes to visit Sebastian, who is in a depressed state. Sebastian, amidst his tragedy, no longer has a connection with Hammerstein, the record label boss, signaling the end of that opportunity. Sebastian receives a letter from the label confirming this. Eric attempts to lift Sebastian's spirits, mentioning successful disabled singers who have overcome similar challenges. He invites Sebastian to go out, but Sebastian rejects the offer, convinced that nobody wants to hang out with a blind person. He reveals that his parents have even hired an assistant to help with daily life. Sebastian appears embarrassed by the situation, and has already resigned himself to giving up on living his life. Reluctantly, Sebastian agrees to go out and attempts to relive his past life before losing his sight. As they go out, he grapples with his newly blind reality, finding it challenging to navigate the world as he used to. To make matters worse, Eric abandons him in the middle of the club, forgetting that Sebastian needs assistance. Struggling to move and locate an exit, Sebastian falls, eventually getting thrown out of the club while people laugh at him. Eric eventually comes out to help him, defending him from others. Sebastian calls for a cab. Back at home, Sebastian continues to behave poorly, especially towards his mom. His dad goes as far as deleting emails from his friends. Sebastian returns to his old apartment with the assistant, who explores the surroundings by touching objects. Sebastian, however, expresses appreciation for the expensive watches, amplifiers, musical instruments, and the overall fine apartment. Sebastian merely states that he likes the items. However, he becomes increasingly irritated with his personal assistant. The assistant goes as far as suggesting selling Sebastian's watches, arguing that he has no need for them, which offends him based on his facial reactions. The nosy assistant goes to fetch coffee, leaving Sebastian to search for his guitar. Despite being unable to see the strings, Sebastian strums it, creating a pleasant sound. But suddenly, he beats it down into pieces. He returns to his parents' house, where his assistant Tomas arrives. Tomas suggests they jam together, even though Sebastian initially refuses. Tomas insists that it would be beneficial for Sebastian's muscle memory, even in his visually impaired state. Tomas continues to make recommendations, often related to blindness, or highlighting talented blind musicians. He invites Sebastian to an opening night, but Sebastian, overwhelmed by frustration, attacks Tomas and sends him out. In the aftermath, Sebastian breaks down and cries, but Tomas remains understanding of his situation. His parents echo Tomas's sentiment, telling Sebastian that he needs to change his attitude. However, Sebastian asserts that he doesn't want anyone pushing him around or treating him as weak. His father, having had enough of Sebastian's attitude, witnesses another fit, with Sebastian behaving like an ungrateful child. Mia joins the scene, and they hire her as Sebastian's new assistant. She sits with Sebastian's mom, who inquires about her. Mia introduces herself, mentioning her varied job experiences, including part-time work at a department store. When Goran, Sebastian's father, asks about Mia's formal training, he becomes rude about financial matters, causing some tension. Anel advises Mia that Sebastian always has an angry and bad attitude. Mia, however, remains nonchalant about the warning. She goes to Sebastian's house, separate from his parents' residence, bringing cookies. Sebastian initially refuses, engrossed in his music, but Mia stays quiet, offering help only when Sebastian asks. Mia reveals her knowledge of watches, sharing that her grandfather had a shop, but he has since passed away. She narrates a story about how, by looking at a watch, she can discern a person's personality. As Sebastian searches for a song in his CDs, Mia helps him find it. In a notable moment, Sebastian smiles for the first time, appreciating Mia's quirkiness. Days pass, and Mia and Sebastian spend their time together. Mia flips through a picture book of America, sparking Sebastian's curiosity. Mia reveals she's saving for a road trip from Los Angeles to New York. Sebastian mentions he's been to America many times, and Anel arrives, sharing a story about Sebastian's overactive antics at Disney World when he was 8, making the donkeys nervous. Sebastian is later attacked by wasps, and he loses his composure, but Mia laughs it off. Mia accompanies Sebastian, even during listening to erotic audios, and in his exercises. Anel notices the growing closeness between Mia and Sebastian. Later, Goran answers a call from the hospital. The details are uncertain. Sebastian and Mia visit Sebastian's old apartment, where Mia arranges the trashed items. She discovers a family photo frame, including Sebastian's deceased brother. Sebastian listens to recordings and voicemails, realizing his friends are having fun without him. He receives requests from women, but he doesn't acknowledge them. Mia sneaks around the apartment and discovers various things. She puts on a CD, and Sebastian allows it, only for Mia to realize it's Sebastian's demo CD. Mia expresses her appreciation, stating that she's amazed, except for the lyrics. However, it turns out that Sebastian also wrote the lyrics. Mia becomes embarrassed and admits that she doesn't quite get them. Sebastian describes the process of writing lyrics, explaining that inspiration often strikes when he sees a girl walking down the street. Mia, however, feels something is off. She comments that the lyrics are not meaningful. Later they go to the lake, and Mia honestly shares her perspective on why Sebastian's lyrics feel lacking. It's because they lack emotion. and authenticity. In an attempt to illustrate, Mia intentionally sings off-key, which brings a smile to Sebastian's face. Despite this, Sebastian dismisses it as silly. Mia then asks Sebastian if he has ever been in love. Sebastian replies negatively, stating that he has never experienced the pains of heartache. Sebastian shifts the conversation, asking Mia whether she's wearing a bikini or a one-piece swimsuit. Playfully, Mia claims to be stark naked, and Sebastian, in jest, touches her to test the truth. Laughing, Mia jumps into the lake. As they move to the street, Mia describes passersby, particularly businessmen, and narrates amusing incidents, like one where a man has to scratch his butt. Sebastian is amused, and Mia continues to share more stories as Sebastian encourages her further. In the park, as summer is in full swing, a woman named Lisa suddenly approaches Sebastian by the bench, recognizing him. Sebastian asks for her number and flirts with her, suggesting they go out. While Lisa is putting his phone back into his pocket, Mia witnesses the interaction and decides to bring him ice cream. Curious, Mia asks Sebastian who the woman is. Sebastian responds casually, stating that the girl is just hot. Mia, however, lies, claiming that Lisa is just ordinary. Sebastian laughs, realizing Mia's playful teasing, as it's not typical for her to make such comments about other women. Sebastian asks Mia about her appearance, but Mia deflects, stating that it's not important. Sebastian, however, insists that people who deny its importance are either lying or ugly. He presses for more details, prompting Mia to turn the question back on him, asking what he thinks she looks like. Sebastian's imagination takes a humorous turn as he envisions Mia as a blonde, slim girl. Jokingly, Mia agrees, and Sebastian believes he has guessed correctly. To tease him further, Mia jokes that there's another wasp bothering him, playfully trolling Sebastian. Mia spots a poster advertising star auditions and suggests that Sebastian should try. However, Sebastian expresses reluctance, explaining that he doesn't want to be famous solely for being disabled. He doesn't want to be known as Sebastian Silverberg, the blind singer. Shifting the focus, Sebastian inquires about Mia's road trip plans, but she reveals that the savings are accumulating slowly. Despite the challenge, Sebastian encourages her to pursue her plans. In Sebastian's room, Mia and Sebastian practice writing lyrics and developing songs, singing together in the process. As they spend more time together, particularly outdoors, Sebastian feels a growing closeness with Mia. Mia, in turn, helps Sebastian navigate being alone and aids him in his lyric writing. Through her actions, it becomes evident that Mia is developing feelings for Sebastian. In a candid moment, Mia admits that she accidentally sent a demo CD to an audition. She pleads with Sebastian not to get angry, but he staunchly expresses his reluctance to participate in such shows. Mia comments that his bad attitude doesn't suit him, to which Sebastian playfully engages with her. The dynamic between Sebastian and Mia is evolving. They sleep beside each other, becoming intimately close and touching each other. However, in the morning, Anel and Goran share fantastic news. The people they have been calling have decided to operate on Sebastian at last. Mia helps Sebastian pack up, and they hold hands until they reach the hospital. Sebastian entrusts his watch to her, and Mia is on the verge of revealing the truth about what she really looks like, but is interrupted. As Sebastian's operation is about to start, Mia kisses him on the lips. Before running off, Sebastian expresses a desire to see her again. The operation has begun and, after its completion, Sebastian can finally see. Mia goes to the hospital, practicing how to introduce herself and trying to gain confidence. Eric visits Sebastian at the hospital just as Mia arrives. However, Sebastian has confusing feelings about who she is. Sebastian introduces the two, but there is tension between them that wasn't there before the operation. Despite feeling better physically, Sebastian decides to revert to his old life before he became blind. He returns to his old apartment, reconnects with his friends, and resumes clubbing, drinking, and partying. Mindless spending resumes, along with encounters with girls, and he goes back to his job as a clothing store clerk. Mia still desires to connect with Sebastian, but due to work commitments, she finds it challenging. As she looks for another job, Sebastian is becoming wearier by the minute. The circumstances are creating a strain in their potential connection. Mia and Sebastian walk by the park, but their moments keep getting interrupted. Suddenly, Sebastian undergoes a change, reverting to his former bad boy persona, and he abandons his music writing. Mia comments on the type of women Sebastian seems to prefer. This offends Sebastian, and he insists that he is different from what she knows. There's a shift in Sebastian's behavior, creating tension and changing the dynamic between them. Sebastian, however, admits to being disappointed that Mia is not what he had imagined. His reasoning appears shallow. A heated argument ensues between Sebastian and Mia, escalating to the point where Sebastian insults her, suggesting that Mia likes handicapped people to compensate for her perceived lack of good looks. The exchange leaves them parting ways angrily. In the apartment, Sebastian cleans out his living space, removing everything related to music making. Purpose seems to elude Sebastian as he slacks off at work and in life in general. His activities primarily consist of drinking, partying, and flirting. During a night of clubbing, he spots Mia in the middle of the dance floor, beautifully dressed and made up, dancing. However, it turns out to be nobody, and another woman approaches to offer him company. They end up going home together. The following nights follow a similar pattern, meaningless physical unions that don't bring fulfillment. Amid this, Sebastian messages Mia. In the morning, the woman Sebastian has slept with confronts him, expressing that his behavior is rude and inconsiderate. It turns out she is the same woman he had used the excuse of his grandmother passing within a previous encounter. Feeling disenchanted, Sebastian lines up at the club again, but is clearly not in the mood. He questions if they are not getting sick of their repetitive actions, and decides to go home. Returning to his parents' home, when Anel inquires about Mia, Sebastian states that they are not hanging out anymore due to differing interests. A letter is left for Sebastian, but it's not from Mia. Instead, Mia forwarded an acceptance letter from the Starstruck audition. Sebastian searches for messages from Mia, but finds none. Thinking and seated, Sebastian takes out his guitar and starts strumming. He begins creating meaningful lyrics, focusing on his careless and carefree attitude, which has resulted in hurting people. Surprisingly, he decides to go to the audition. The judges ask him to share something about himself that isn't on the form, something special that sets him apart. Sebastian, however, can't think of anything else, and instead shares a poignant memory from when he was 8 years old. He talks about his brother Theo, recalling moments when they played with toys. He vividly remembers a day when they stopped playing to watch MTV. Sebastian expresses his fascination with music, stating that he wanted it to be his life. His mom bought him a guitar, but tragedy struck that summer when Theo got sick. Sebastian shares that he kept practicing as a way of expressing his love for Theo and his passion for music. This revelation adds depth to Sebastian's character and showcases a more vulnerable side. Sebastian leaves a voice message for Mia, informing her that he got into the audition on TV, specifically on Set Alive. Sebastian bids her goodbye and excitedly announces the news to his parents. Meanwhile, Mia receives the call but remains silent, avoiding watching the audition. Later at the audition, Sebastian prepares for his performance and notices a blind person among the contestants. As Sebastian practices, Mia can't resist, and eventually turns on the audition channel. Sebastian's family is ecstatic as they watch him perform on TV. Sebastian starts playing his song, and Mia appears amused. All his friends attend as well. The audition includes a voting option where viewers can text to vote. The audition is still ongoing, and Sebastian is gaining fame as many girls ask for his autograph. He continues performing until he emerges as the winner against all the talents. Meanwhile, Mia persists in her role as a personal aide. Contestants are gradually eliminated, but Sebastian remains a crowd favorite. Sebastian keeps calling Mia, but she consistently refuses to answer. At the same time, Mia's dream of going to America is materializing as she books her flight. However, in an agency, she glimpses Sebastian walking outside. Mia decides to postpone her booking for a while. The plot thickens as Sebastian's rise to fame clashes with Mia's journey and her unresolved feelings. Sebastian rehearses for his song, but he appears to be growing tired of it. Mia watches with her mom, and they discuss Sebastian's repeated calls, which Mia never answers. During the rehearsal, Sebastian accidentally hits the camera, momentarily getting dizzy. However, he resumes as if nothing happened, and the audience becomes more enthusiastic. Despite the mishap, Sebastian's sight starts deteriorating, and his vision goes blurry. However, he continues with the show, dancing away with his quirky performance. Sebastian undergoes a checkup, and the results indicate that he is fine. However, his rising fame is accompanied by increased media attention, leading to more fans. Unfortunately, the flashing lights associated with his newfound celebrity are adversely affecting his eyes. As Mia continues her trip, she meets up with Anel, expressing concern about Sebastian's vision. During their conversation, Mia shares details about Theo, Sebastian's brother, a topic rarely discussed by Sebastian himself. Anel initially finds it hard to believe, as Sebastian seldom talks about Theo. Nevertheless, she appreciates Mia's efforts for Sebastian. Sebastian persists in practicing and focusing on his lyrics, not willing to disclose the inspiration behind his music to Eric's inquiry. Later, a news anchor discovers that Sebastian has lost his vision due to a brain hemorrhage, and the story is slated for a front-page feature. The news spreads rapidly, with other outlets picking up on this significant development in Sebastian's life. Mia is engrossed in mending her broken underwear when Sebastian calls again. Annoyed, she answers, but Sebastian is elated that she picked up, and expresses a desire to apologize. Despite the tension, Sebastian claims he is doing well. The record label that rejected him previously is now interested, but Sebastian contemplates going the independent route, so he will have more freedom to write the songs he wants to write. Mia inquires if he will perform any of the songs he has written, but Sebastian deems it not the right time. He invites Mia to the finals, but she reveals she's leaving, and currently packing her bags. Sebastian, however, insists on reserving a seat for her, wishing her luck. Mia finds herself on the verge of making a crucial decision. The finals finally arrive, but among the audience, Mia is conspicuously absent as she continues to pack for her upcoming trip. Minutes before his performance, Sebastian decides to drive himself and makes an unexpected stop at Mia's house. Sebastian knocks on Mia's door, expressing a desire for a proper goodbye. Initially, Mia dismisses him and treats Sebastian as a nuisance. However, he sincerely apologizes for how he treated her after the operation, revealing that he realized he could finally feel things when he was with her during his blindness. Sebastian admits that his life before the accident meant nothing, and recounts the various ways Mia has impacted him. Although Sebastian struggles to fully articulate his feelings, Mia seems to understand. They share a hug. Sebastian and Mia rush back to the finals, with Mia still in her pajamas. It's Sebastian's turn to perform. Before he begins, he addresses the rumors surrounding his blindness. He openly admits to losing his eyesight, and shares that his journey has not been easy, and leaves the lesson to the audience that perseverance is the key. Sebastian performs his own song, dedicating it to those undergoing their unique journeys. His heartfelt performance resonates with the crowd, and Mia tears up watching him. As his set concludes, Sebastian smiles directly at Mia. Later, Mia embarks on her journey to America, seemingly enjoying every moment. Notably, she is accompanied by Sebastian, who appears to be her boyfriend now.